Everything you've ever come to know about Rec Room is wrong. We all know what a Rec Room is. The game that kills your brain cells not because of kids running around screaming the N-word, but because your brain is trying to cope with every new furry hangout hitting the new page. We've all probably joined them as a joke at least once, only to realize that people there take these personas a little too seriously. Only being able to play the coveted Crescendo if you have a $1,000 gaming PC gives you the implication that God is indeed real. He just thinks it's funny when we're sad. One of the greatest, if not the greatest VR game of all time that practically put VR into mainstream media. Alongside our favorite lizard person controlling the type of porn you watch. But what if I told you that the true history of Rec Room had been hidden from you all of these years? Join me as we delve into the real history and the mystery of Rec Room. Most people think Rec Room to have been released in June of 2016, but it goes much farther back than that to the Jurassic period. You see, 145 million years ago, far before humans had existed, dinosaurs that ruled the world had come up with the idea for a contraption capable of creating a samurai outfit for dinosaurs. Little far-fetched, I know, but it had perfect instructions on how to create it, because we know from watching Rick and Morty that dinosaurs were godlike beings. And I'm a virgin for even watching that show. They called it the sandbox machine, and the only way we know this is because of old cave drawings, signed by dinosaurs, of course. Rec Room would shamelessly steal this idea, however, and adapt it to their game Rec Room. But ever since those old cave drawings, there's nothing documented about the evolution of what would eventually become the Maker Pen as we know it today. So I kind of had to fill in the gaps. As the Roman Empire was close to its own economic collapse, there was actually an archaeologist, scientist, astronaut, lawyer, Chick-fil-A manager named Beatrix LeBeau, who after digging up some research had discovered the dinosaurs' plans for such a contraption capable of creating anything they could put their minds to. This kind of technology, however, was so out of reach, it would be centuries before it was even possible to create. But this didn't stop Beatrix, as she would later take specific and precise notes on what she could, and put them all into a single book to be passed down for generations. In a desperate attempt to get it passed on to someone to ensure its safety before she died, however, she spread rumors that it was the key to immortality, in order to make sure that whoever had it would treat it more valuable than gold. Which nobody could tell was true or not, because they were all a bunch of fucking dorks. Beatrix was hoping it would get passed on to someone who could keep it safe to later continue the research into making it possible, in which she succeeded before the arrival of the killer of all happiness, death. It actually got passed on to Leonardo Vesuvius, who held on to it before turning into a volcano and wiping out Pompeii. After this, the location of the book was completely unknown, until it was later recovered by a scholar of Yale named Damien, which leads us into... As Damien held on to this book right after graduating, he later discovered what Beatrix was trying to create all those years ago. He was able to decipher that it was not in fact the secret to immortality, but something much more powerful. However, he couldn't read it to the fullest extent, leading him to take it to one of his old professors, in which after deciphering what it said and reading it aloud to Damien in modern-day English, he was sucked through a portal into an unknown reality, along with a mysterious purple rain bucket. After this incident, he was extremely careful about what he did with the book, fearing what could happen could have the power to destroy worlds, or possibly even create them, as is shown in photographs imagined by Beatrix. He figured the best way to keep it a secret was to make sure that only the smartest and most capable individuals who he deemed worthy could know of its secrets, which eventually led to him signing the Declaration of Independence in 1776, dying shortly after of natural causes. This is a pretty big deal, as it meant that the value of this ancient relic was only going up, and it created an extreme danger to society. This book, however, would eventually get passed on to Damien's great descendant, Marcus Bartholomew Vesuvius III, in 1932. Marcus Bartholomew Vesuvius III had noticed that by stimulating the book by showing it pictures of the butts on Fortnite skins, he could harness a sort of magic that when used could create portals to alternate realities. However, one day Marcus decides to show the book what a furry is, to see if it has any unusual effects. Bad choice. Instant hell portal. We do not like Marcus Bartholomew Vesuvius III. He kind of fucked things for a little bit. This thing was unleashing everything from musky cardboard goblins to a real-life Sharknado, meaning this was a Class 5 alpha hell portal, and it brought a lot of bad shit with it. This included stuff like hardcore Andrew Tate fans, kids begging for you to gift them their wish list in the rec center, kids who abuse disability add-ons to make themselves taller and give themselves longer arms. This sang only in Ohio after anything even remotely funny is said. Probably said by someone named Noah, who probably looks like this. God, what a fucking specimen. You know, when he sent me this image, he was trying to defend himself from saying the N-word by saying he was reconnecting with his roots. What the fuck does that? Oh, I get it. Anyways, there were also thirst traps involving troll faces, which just makes you really uncomfortable. However, after the worst of it had come to pass, scientists found out a way to, fucking murder Marcus Bartholomew of Vesuvius III in hopes that they could sacrifice him to the gods and close the hell portal, which worked miraculously due to a sheer Christmas miracle in July. After all that, Rec Room adapted this technology into their game. It seems to have paid off, as today Rec Room is one of the greatest VR games of all time, mostly because of its ability to create anything you can imagine at the snap of your fingers. Or more likely, hours of effort spent on a singular game only to leave accidentally without saving, which actually causes a cascade of events to unfold, in which nobody actually thinks about the consequences of their actions until they learn about the... I'm gonna be frank. We do not know where ink comes from. I tried to figure it out. It was created by the dinosaurs, but then they hit with a meteor and turned into oil. We don't have the crafting recipe to make more ink. How are we gonna get more? How are we gonna make an absurd amount of furry hangout rooms now? Look, if we don't stop making new rooms and inventions, we're gonna run out of ink and have to resort to touching grass, or worse, playing VR chat. VR chat. That's a tough one to get out. That's currently all we know about the evolution of the Maker Pen, though. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you're notified next time I upload something that isn't a low-effort YouTube short. We're currently trying to hit 1 billion subscribers by the end of the year, and we're on track to meet that goal if we push hard enough. Thanks for joining me on today's episode of Factually True History, with yours truly, Honey Starbucks. Alright, bye-bye.